Yo, 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 what up, Horizon? It's your boy, Tim Rogers, and I am coming to you live from Kotaku.com. This is Forza Horizon 4. My original plan for this video was to write 17 pages of cheerful hyperbole and deliver it all in a voice imitating a Forza Horizon radio DJ. Then I remembered that I don't want to throw up this week. I have played 40 hours of Forza Horizon 4, during which I suffered maybe 38 concrete and complete hours of solid fun, and 2 hours of loading screens, or yelling at DJs to shut up and quit harshing my chill.
This is so fun! Wanna try some more?
The Forza Horizon series reminds me of my earliest acquaintances with video games as a medium. When I was a tiny, round child, my favorite games required me to physically squeeze my entire body into or onto them. I moistened many arcade steering wheels with my palm sweat. The works of Yu Suzuki often set my adolescent brain ablaze with their stark presentations of my wishes fulfilled. In Super Hang-On, I had a motorcycle, and it was fast. In Afterburner, I was a fighter jet pilot, and in Outrun, I had a Ferrari and a girlfriend. Now, I am staring down the barrel of my 40th birthday, and a lot of those wishes still sing to me. Forza Horizon 4 lets me drive a 2018 McLaren Senna off a cliff. It whispers to many of my oldest wishes. However, it also births several new wishes. So allow me to present 4 wishes I make upon Forza Horizon 4. I wish real life looked like this. Forza Horizon 4's graphics demand being mentioned first in any critical assessment of the game as a retail product. The graphics are disgustingly good. I acquired an Xbox One just in time to appreciate this game as its developers intended me to appreciate it as a critic of video games. I will note that I have captured the footage you are seeing at 1080p with HDR turned off, though I did play more than 35 hours of Forza Horizon 4 in 4K with HDR enabled. I am not sure if I've ever seen better graphics than this. Forza Horizon 4 presents us with a world that looks better than our real world could ever look, even with the most expensive sunglasses. Back in 2003, I was lucky enough to get a tour of the Polyphony Digital Studios, where they make the Gran Turismo games. I had a long conversation that day with Kazunori Yamauchi, director of Gran Turismo. We discussed many topics. For example, he recommended me several Japanese jazz fusion records. I asked him about Polyphony Digital's seemingly endless pursuit of graphical fidelity toward representation of a realistic world. He corrected me. He said that they were no longer interested in realism for its own sake. Instead, he said they were elbow deep in pursuit of quote-unquote a better reality. He said, "We've already come to grasp what is technologically necessary for presenting graphics faithful to reality. We endeavor to look beyond that, toward techniques for presenting a more beautiful reality. This is why we currently present tracks in times of most flattering light and weather." I found the notion of a more beautiful reality wonderful. I translated this part of the interview word for word and looked it over. The British magazine's editor cut it from my piece. Well, 14 years later, here's Forza Horizon 4, gleeful in its expressions of a more delicious reality. Technology and art have inextricably intertwined, and the result is a game I want to eat. Every Forza Horizon game's tastefully stylized world has been scrumptious, though this one multiplies the tastiness by 4 by giving us access to a whole calendar of seasons. More like Forza Horizon 4 Seasons. Actually, now I feel like this game's marketing team wanted me to walk right into finishing the title for them. If you thought Antonio Vivaldi's 4 Seasons were iconic, that particular dead Italian is spinning in his grave with embarrassment at the aplomb with which Playground Games and Turn 10 Studios have screamed these complicated weather conditions into 4K life. The seasons change in Forza Horizon 4. The seasons determine which events and loot are available, and what weather conditions are likely for all events. When you first start a save file of the game, you have to play through an extended on-ramp sequence in which all 4 seasons pass relatively quickly as you gain experience. After that, you enter the online game. For the duration of my pre-release play period, the season has been locked on fall. The developer developers are in control of what season is happening, which means that all players are on the same season all the time. You can see when the current season is going to end and what the next season is going to be by accessing the menu. You can also get a quick glimpse of what limited time events you most want to try. A 30-mile tour of Britain? Sign me up! There are even seasonal barn finds! This means that for just a few real-world calendar days at a time, a purple circle opens up on the map and you have until the next season to drive over every inch of terrain in there in hopes of finding an abandoned barn containing a rare car. It's like playing Where's Waldo with a gun to your head and your eyes closed. I drove around this purple circle for 30 minutes and I can't find the barn. I really wanted to include a clip of me finding a barn. All of the seasons look beautiful. As I gained experience during the on-ramp, I dreaded the end of summer because I thought the HDR would somehow be less beautiful in the fall. I sure was wrong. Sun gleaming off hot summer asphalt is gorgeous, though it ain't got nothing on the sun reflecting off shallow puddles and tire-tracked clumps of dead red leaves bunched up on the side of a black road under a cloudy autumn sky. Thus, encouraged by the fall, I did not dread the coming of winter, trusting these developers to present the season deliciously. I wish I was 9 years old again. When I was 9 years old, I only owned one video game. I played a lot of other games, though those were all ones that I'd rented. My mom chose all those games for me, and that was only on the weekends. Thankfully for me, and thankfully for you if you like my videos, the one video game that I owned happened to be Super Mario Bros. I later read an interview with Shigeru Miyamoto in which he said that he liked to think of video games as playgrounds. With what I realize now were words encouraging players to play a diverse range of many video games, Shigeru Miyamoto had said, "Wouldn't it be nice to have a whole drawer full of playgrounds?" In this same interview, Shigeru Miyamoto had said that players who'd beaten Super Mario Bros. Could invent new challenges for themselves. They could, for example, try clearing a level without collecting a single coin. Shigeru Miyamoto had no idea at the time that he was inventing Xbox achievements. Years before I read that interview with Shigeru Miyamoto, or even knew Shigeru Miyamoto's name, I was clearing Super Mario Bros. Levels without collecting coins, or without killing enemies. Super Mario Bros. Was my playground. I had as weird an idea of playgrounds as Shigeru Miyamoto probably did. I wonder if Shigeru Miyamoto also took his calculator to the playground when he was a kid. The developer of the Forza Horizon series is called Playground Games. Given my personal history as a Mario appreciator, I can't help thinking that this studio name is a reference to that Shigeru Miyamoto interview. Forza Horizon games present players big, wide-open worlds full of events, nooks, crannies, cooperation, competition, collectibles, camaraderie, and cars. Each game in the series is bigger and fuller than the last. Forza Horizon 4 is a game that feels like it was developed by Xbox achievements themselves, the way Anakin Skywalker was immaculately conceived by the midi-chlorians before the events of Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. I made an avatar who doesn't look like me. I mean, I don't want to look like me in real life. Every time you complete an event, your in-game avatar basks in the glow of loud, shrieking numerals. You sometimes spin a prize wheel. You can win big money, hot cars, tiny money, or cold cars. You can unlock novelty horns. You can unlock victory dances. I keep winning mean-spirited victory dances. So many of the victory dances are mean-spirited. I bet the Fortnite L dance is in here. I conscientiously object to the victory dances. When I win, my avatar stands around looking like her mom just lost her in the mall. Forza Horizon 4 is always asking you to do stuff, every which way that stuff can be done. With a car, every 2 or 3 times you complete an event, the map whips open and 5 or 6 new checklist items jiggle and plop onto the screen. If you're 9 years old and this is the only game you have and you're only allowed to play it 1 hour per day after school, pretty much any game is worse than Forza Horizon 4. There's something worth doing which fits a play session of any length. For example, if you only have 5 minutes, you can get past the opening loading screen and then out of the start menu. If the game is already loaded up and you only have 5 minutes, you can just tear around in your car. You get points for running over innocent people's patio furniture. I earned a skill point for driving like a beehole. Wow, is England made of weak, brittle cheese? If this game had existed when I was 9 years old, I would have hyperventilated myself to death. death the first time I rolled this Jeep. I wish my friends played this game. Every hour on the hour there's a hashtag Forzathon event. The game yells at you that you have so-and-so number of minutes to get to such and such a place. Your GPS struggles to fumblingly recalculate your route as you storm through fences and over wheat fields. Then you see them on the horizon, gamer tags as far as the eye can see. Finally, a video game has delivered the catharsis of a YouTube video about a Black Friday sale at Walmart. All at once, the sheer fuzziness of it heats your heart to a boil. Forza Horizon games are shared worlds. It's like Destiny with cars. Well, the first Forza Horizon came out before Destiny. It's like Burnout Paradise with cars by real manufacturers. Hashtag Forzathon events require players to cooperate with other players. It's the design principle of Groupon applied to a video game community. You Groupon ballot stuff these speed traps, trying to bank them full of, for example, 10,000 miles per hour. All the other players are ghosts because it'd get messy if they were real. It's just like Dark Souls. Despite their transparent, ethereal nature, the behavior and movement of these phantoms is unmistakably that of natural humans. During my experience playing Forza Horizon 4 before its public release, I cherished this undeniable sign of life. I cherished these long, weird gamer tags. For those 10 minutes, the game felt alive, and so did I. Outside of hashtag Forzathon events, I grinded credits in solo races. I'm sure there were almost enough players for me to play multiplayer events, though being that this is a game about driving cars, and being that driving cars is about going fast, I did not possess the saintly patience to wait for these tumbleweedy pre-release lobbies to fill up. Much like a court will assign a public defender to a person who can't afford an attorney, Forza Horizon assigns you friends if you don't have any. The loudest of these court-appointed friends are part of the game's user experience's plot wrapper. Every time you finish a series of races or earn enough experience points to level up, the map screen whips open and you hear these cheerful British and Scottish people ecstatic, positively exploding to inform you that they've got 4 more races for you. I literally studied writing in college, and I can't think of a family-friendly way to say this. It sounds like all these people are jerking off when they talk to you.
Oh man, this is so fun!
Like, I got 12th place in an excruciating street race because I turned all the assists off and it was an unfamiliar track and I had the difficulty on the highest setting. And afterward, the dude was like,
"Brilliant, mate."
And then he literally said,
"Everyone is terrified of what you're going to do next."
I had a whiplash flashback to my mom telling me that the other kids in school were jealous of me. I know you were lying, Mom. One of those kids sunk 9 three-pointers at the state championships. Probably the only thing in the world that was impossible for that kid was being jealous of me. This memory rabbit-holed me into a flashback to the time my Sunday school teacher told us anybody can get strong enough to play football if they
Pray every day.
These court-ordered Disneyland Sunday school coach therapists are all so cheerful because Forza Horizon games always take place at a music festival. And people don't go to a music festival to listen to music. People go to a music festival to be excited to be at a music festival. I don't like music festivals. I would rather go see one band that I really want to see at an indoor venue with as many as 2 openers than take a bus several hours to a Disneyland-sized field and then spend 3/4 out of any given 2 hours of a whole weekend arguing with people I don't even like about which of the currently playing 2 bands I only sort of want to see out of the 12 of 98 bands that sure I would get on a bus if it was free to go see. I want to spend a sweltering hour walking over to see right now. Despite dredging up memories of sunburn and nausea, despite giving prominence to a theme that runs counter to every habit and pattern I've developed in the last 4 decades, I admire the Forza Horizon series' commitment to the music festival setting. These games are about something. I commend the developers' continuing strenuous palpable effort to prop up the facade of their fiction that every 2 years, on Forza Earth, people and cars flock together to trash the landscape of a different beautiful country whilst listening to bad music. Every inhabitant of this British island positively froths at the very prospect of an opportunity to use a disgustingly expensive automobile to turn someone else's patio furniture into sticks of trash, whilst 2 DJs with identical haircuts and fashion and taste call each other brilliant mates. I can look past the Sunday school Disneyland cheerleading perpetrated upon my cars at the beginnings and endings of every race, simply because the graphics are gorgeous, the world is huge, the cars are perfect, and the events are phenomenal. I put on my own music though. Forza games are as good at reminding me that I have a Groove Music folder as they are at reminding me that I have a Microsoft OneDrive account. If I put on Tatsuhiro Yamashita's Come Along albums and drive a Ferrari, it feels sorta like Sega made an Outrun movie in 1985. If I put on Akina Nakamori's 2017 cover album Cage, it feels like Hollywood made an Initial D movie in 2004. If I put on Kikukawa Koji's 1984 album La Vie en Rose and drive a 1996 Subaru Impreza, it reminds me of the time I drove from London to Glasgow in the summer of 2001. The Forza series calls AI drivers drivatars. Stricter phoneticists among my spectators may elect to pronounce this drivatars. Drivatars reflect collections of real player behaviors, including your own and that of your Xbox Live friends. Drivatars as a concept appeal viscerally to computer programmers and other genius problem solvers. So far in Forza Horizon 4, they've been creeping me out a little bit. My 40 hours of experience with Forza Horizon 4 have so far taken place during a week before the game launches toward the general public. The drivatars I see float over the terrain without soul or joy, haunting me as it is taunting me. Forza Horizon 4 sees fit to affix my good friend Michael Kerwin's gamertag to a car drifting in front of me onto the final stretch of a stressful street race. I know for a fact that Michael Kerwin is not playing Forza Horizon 4. Unlike me, Michael Kerwin does not inexplicably get paid a full-time salary to play video games a week before they go on sale to the general public. I know for a fact that Michael Kerwin has never played a Forza game at all. All I know is that Michael Kerwin's roommate played Forza Motorsport 5 on Michael Kerwin's Xbox Live account for just 1 week because he couldn't remember the password to his own Xbox Live account. I do not see Michael Kerwin drifting in front of me. I see the ghost of his roommate, my good friend Delicious McCune, frozen in the angry driving state of mind in which he spent 8 days mustering the courage to call Xbox Live support, and the humility to confess that he did not know his password. Yet as Michael Kerwin's roommate's ghost drifts in front of me, it fills me with a feeling that perhaps a game designer engineered.
I wish my real friends played this game.
However can I convince my real friends to buy Xbox Ones, or beef up their PCs, or just spend $60 on Forza Horizon 4? All of these events would be so much fun if I could play them with Michael Kerwin, Brent Porter, Delicious McCune, Nicholas Wazalewski, Doug Jones, Alex Jaffe, and Brandon Sheffield. We would drift around and chew up the countryside. We would honk La Cucaracha at each other while we ate England like it was a block of bad cheddar. How do I convince my friends to buy these products? Maybe I should start by telling them about the login loyalty bonus unlocks. I wish I had a car again. I moved from a suburb in Northern California to New York City about a year and a half ago. I ride the subway to work every day. I used to drive a car. I owned a decommissioned 2006 Ford Crown Victoria Police Interceptor with a 4.6-liter V8 engine. I used to be able to just get in my car and go to the supermarket at 1 a.m. on a Sunday to buy milk and Cap'n Crunch. Now I have to use an app to order my groceries from Costco. I look at Cap'n Crunch in this app and I'm like, do I want to press a button to make another person touch a box of Cap'n Crunch? Despite its excess of overwhelming England, Forza Horizon 4 compels me to California dream. It makes me wish I had a car again, and infinite free time, and infinite gas money. I like to think I'm a good driver. I drove a Nissan GTR in real life once. I got it up to 140 miles per hour in a controlled environment. The raw joy of driving around in Forza Horizon 4 appeals appeals to me on what suffices as a spiritual level. When I was a teenager, I spent most of what little disposable income I had on gasoline, just so I could drive hot laps around the entire city of Indianapolis, Indiana at midnight after work 3 nights a week. One of the collectibles in Forza Horizon 4 unlocks a free fast travel feature if you get all 50 of them. I'll collect all of them because I bought Banjo-Kazooie the day it came out. However, I'm perfectly fine not fast traveling. I love slow traveling. I wonder how long it will take for me to find a review of Forza Horizon 4 that complains about the slow traveling.
Wow.
That didn't even take me 1 minute. One of my earliest childhood memories is of a car accident when I was 4 years old. My dad was driving my mom's 1979 Ford Thunderbird to church. My brother had stayed home sick, watching the Transformers while my mom made him soup. My dad never insisted on our fastening our safety belts. It was an opaque Groundhog Day. We were in a hurry to talk to God. The car slipped on a patch of black ice, crashed through an old wooden guardrail, and fell off a bridge into a low ditch below. My right eye literally exited my skull. A surgeon in the local emergency room performed a miracle. Therefore, I can still see and play video games. However, Forza Horizon 4's winter season awakened deep trepidation in me. Yet within minutes of savoring its graphical deliciousness, my worries subsided, and I learned to love the skid. Likewise, ever since a horrific near-death experience one rainy night in California in 2017, I've feared both driving at night and driving in the rain. I didn't even notice until just before capturing footage for this video that the street races were the only one of Forza Horizon 4's event classes I had not completed through to the championship round. All of the other events, I played through all 10 rounds. For the street races, I was only on round 2. The street races are all at night. In the fall season, it's raining for most of them. I got in an old Nissan Skyline GTR and put on some 1990s Japanese R&B. I powered through my phobia. I started winning, and I didn't stop winning. I spent a whole work day in thumping R&B silence, squashing the termites of my tiny phobia one by one, until my British Sunday school teacher called me champion. Some video games are tense, some video games are chill. Forza Horizon is both hot and chill, sometimes at the same time. Yet Forza Horizon goes beyond mere emotional temperature as it dares ask the bigger question: are video games therapy? Well, I'll leave the answer for another time. It is raining in Manhattan as I record this, considering the crisp aroma of cool autumn raindrops spattering putrid New York garbage reminds me with the poignancy that I was born stupid. However, I will not die hungry. Video games forever. Kotaku.com.